Hello everybody, this is DFaceG with DFaceG Rebooted, and today I just wasted some magic dust. Anyway, we are back in our playthrough of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. It has been a while since I recorded one of these, but I have decided recently that I want to get my series on this channel done so I can move on to different things. Because I have Breath of the Wild, I have Mario Odyssey, and I have this that all are unfinished as of yet. Splatoon 2 as well, but I don't know when I'm going to get that one done. But I decided I want to get these things done because they've been sitting on my channel unfinished for a while, and I would like to actually record different things. So, yeah, I've decided to return to this, and we're going to be taking on the next dungeon, well, the first dungeon, actually, which is this one right here. So, we already got the key in the last episode, so we're going to go ahead and put it in here. Open sesame! Tut tut! That was my, horrible Patrick impression for you. And with that, we have the door open. Now we will enter to the abyss, which is Tail Cave. Tail Cave is, I wouldn't say the easiest dungeon, but it's not a very difficult dungeon to get through. It's actually extremely straightforward. I will say that when I say extremely straightforward, it's more on Link's Awakening's terms. Because, not really any of the dungeons in Link's Awakening are entirely straightforward. There are many things you can do to get yourself lost or mixed up just by missing a simple thing, and you can get stuck for an hour or more sometimes. So it comes down to remembering what you're doing and where you're going most of the time. Some of the puzzles aren't entirely straightforward, so if you've never played the game before, you can sometimes get confused by those. People who have played and beat the Game Boy version are more likely to remember what to do. Thanks. I hate you. Go down into the abyss. Stay there. Yeah, I'm not doing too well with this guy. Alright. Come here, dude. Die. Thank you. Okay, we need to get some parts. That's one. Alright, we're full up again. Very good. Now let's go ahead and go up. We can break the crystals with our sword. There's no special tool required for that. That was, I don't know what that enemy is called. I'm going to be completely honest. It's probably just called like a worm. It's a lot like the boss of a dungeon, though. It's very much a teaser to what it looks like. We cannot get in there yet. We will not be able to get in there for a while, probably. So, these things right here, these electric balls, you cannot kill those yet. I do not believe. Actually, I might be wrong. I think you can't. I'm gonna try that. Yeah, no. So you can't kill those things just yet. You will be able to later on in the game if I remember correctly, though. So let's go ahead and open this chest real quick. And as you can see, we got a lot of keys. We got 3 to be exact, and we haven't used one yet. I'm going to try pushing all of these blocks to the side. I don't think any of them do anything, but I'm going to try just in case. Yeah. So this is a Stalfos. Basically, they will just jump, and you gotta hit their sword at the right time. This door is blocked. We cannot enter there. So we're going to go ahead and head to the side here instead. So here we have another Stalfos and 2 bubbles. Yes, that's what those things are called. I didn't name them. So we got the Stalfos killed. We cannot head across that gap yet, but we will be able to at some point. So what you're supposed to do with these is hit them all when they have the same symbol. I kind of failed here. So when they all have the same symbol, you just hit them like that. and you will unlock what the room is going to give you. I am once again low on hearts. I don't know how that keeps happening. I don't have the magic cream, which I need to get, so after I'm done with this dungeon, I need to remember to do that. Now we have the stone beak, and this is essentially able to be used to give you, this can give you hints to get through the dungeon, progress better. It's not necessary for those who want to do the, like, it's not a required tool at all. You do not have to use it if you want to get the dungeons normal style. You're able to get 100% complete without it. But if you do want to 100% complete the game, I don't think opening chests counts towards completion, but just in case, I would get the stone valve beak, because it does count as a chest in the dungeons. And even so, if it doesn't count towards 100%, I get all of the chests anyway because I'm OCD, and I am not comfortable with just leaving stuff behind most of the time. I missed it. Okay, we're gonna go up, enter this door. So we can't get across here quite yet. So we're gonna go ahead and navigate through this maze. There are bubbles here that we gotta avoid, and we are going to do so quite well. Move a square block, it's saying. So we're going to go ahead and move this one up. And here we are. So earlier, a stone owl told us to turn these guys aside with our shield. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. And we got a new staircase out of it. Very interesting. So we're gonna head in there just a minute. Let's see what the stone owl has to say. Turn aside the spider north of a shield. That's exactly what the other one said earlier. So now here we are in this cave. These guys probably look familiar to you. These guys are literally Goombas. That's literally what they're called in this game. And you're like, wait, these aren't Zelda enemies, these are Mario enemies. No, they're, well, yes, they were ripped straight out of Mario. We can't get that yet, ignore that. So, basically, in this game, there are several enemies that are pulled straight from Mario. But we'll touch on that again later. This is the Rock's Feather. It makes your body is, wait, I can't read. You got the Rock's Feather, it feels like your body is a light lighter. So, if we go to the menu and equip this button to our Y button, we're going to keep the magic powder equipped, although I don't remember having to use it in this dungeon. As you just saw, we can now jump over obstacles or gaps. Not all obstacles, mind you, but just certain ones. So you can jump over stuff like enemies. You can now jump on certain enemies in caves like the Goombas. And it overall makes navigation a lot easier. The Rock's Feather is the only item in the game you will pretty much consistently be using other than your sword. And no, you cannot jump yourself out of gaps. But that opens up a lot more of the dungeon to us, because now we can get across gaps that we couldn't earlier. Which makes things substantially easier for us to get done. I'm gonna see if this guy can give us another heart. I'm hoping he can, because I'm running low. Alright, so let's go ahead and get moving. And we're going to see about getting into some of the rooms we could not earlier, because now we can jump across the gaps that were blocking their entrances from us. I'm not going to worry about that piece right there for the moment. Let's get rid of this Stalfos again. Yes, the enemies will often respawn. He falls. Okay. So now let's go ahead and jump across this gap and go in this room right here. Here we have our first mini-boss. I have no idea what he's called, but he is one of the easiest mini-bosses in the game. If not the easiest. All you need is Rock's Feather to defeat him. Otherwise, he is one of, and he is very pathetic without it. See? That did not take very long at all. And he drops a fairy, which I can use to heal myself, but I'm going to go ahead and get a bottle out so I can catch the fairy instead, because I almost have full hearts anyway. If you catch a fairy and put it in a bottle, you'll be able to use it to save yourself later on if you die. And because I don't have the magic powder, I kinda need it. So we're gonna go in here. We don't have the boss key yet. So in here, we're going to find, hopefully, something that's somewhat helpful. It's just 3 hearts. There's nothing else in here. Ignore the hanging bodies. This game is rated E10 and up. Alright, alright. So, let's get moving and see if we can't find this thingy. Okay, so, we have a few doors that we have a few rooms that we have not found quite yet. This one we do not have access to yet. We need to come back to the dungeon at a later time. It is this door right here that we need to get into, and we need to loop all the way back around, but there's a quick way to do it with the portal that just opened up below. So we're going to go down here and enter this portal. And it will take us back to the first room in the dungeon, which is extremely useful. So now, we are back where we want to be, and we're going to head right this time to this room that we have not quite seen before. And we are going to take out all these enemies. It's not required for room completion, but I'm going to do it in case. Actually, never mind, there is a chest in this room. And we're going to open this chest up to find ourselves the dungeon map. Voila! So now we can see where all of the rooms we've missed are. And now I'm confused. Oh! I'm an idiot. I don't know how I didn't see that on the map. I played this dungeon before. I should have known where it is. I don't understand how I didn't. But hey, at least I didn't spend an hour trying to find it like I would in my first playthrough. So we're going to go ahead and jump across here. And yes, keys are used on blocks now. There's always enough keys in the dungeon to open up all of the blocks. Sometimes there's more than necessary if I remember correctly, but it shouldn't usually be a problem. And we're going to open up this chest and get ourselves the Dungeon Nightmare Key. And with this, we can enter the boss room, so we can take on the boss. So let's go ahead and head in that direction. Jumping does not speed you up, actually. I think it slows you down because you do a little stop when you jump. When you land, I mean. So anyway, if I remember correctly, the boss room is this way. So we're going to jump across this gap here. And we're going to head up towards the boss room. We're going to wait for these things to slide back. And we're going to let them do that. Open the door and head on inside. And here we will have our first boss. Buzz, Buzz, Outsider. This is Moldorm. If you've played any other Zelda game, it is highly likely you'll recognize this guy. He's in A Link to the Past, he's in Link's Awake, he's in A Link Between Worlds, he's in this game. And there is a puppet form of him that appears in Wind Waker. If you played any of those games before, you should easily know what how Moldorm works. The only exception is really Wind Waker, because for some reason, Moldorm does not work in a 3D environment. So, if you've played him in Wind Waker, you know how difficult he is to defeat in this game, because you have to aim your bow at his tail, and it's a 3D game. Aiming is not as accurate when you're playing in 3D. That is my small rant on Moldorm in Wind Waker. Please ignore it. Technically, the boss isn't called Moldorm. It's a side boss of Puppet Ganon, but still. We've defeated the dungeon. We have everything except for the one room we cannot get to. So we are going to head up and get our first legendary item. This is the Full Moon Cello. Swamp. A path opens in the blooms.